we got Miriam in the house. Give her a hand. Okay, in the house, Miriam. Okay, so you've just secured your first 10K with us. Where were you before you started with that? Where were you before in your coaching business before you joined us?
I didn't have a coaching business before I joined you guys. I was a brand manager for an entrepreneur for like 3 years. And then I decided I wanted to help more people. And then I came across you and yeah, it's got into it. And it's been like just over 2 months and I've hit 5 figures, which is nice.
So hold on there. All right. So you got into us. What does that mean? Was there any what was the decision that you were weighing up in terms of like getting support? Did you look at other people? What was that for you?
Yes, because I've been working with brands and online. I was very aware of like who's out there. So I'd already had a taste of how everyone does their marketing. And honestly, like I just kept getting repulsed by people because I'm really big into authenticity. So I must have come across you on Clubhouse. I'm going to guess. I don't remember, but I do know it happened through Instagram. And I just really was drawn to your method, even though I didn't know anything about it. It felt authentic. It felt real. And I said, I believe I can learn from him and I want to. So I'll be honest, it was a decision probably I was vaguely thinking about for 5 years while I was working for other companies. If I was going to get into marketing, and I've had people approach me before for the companies I've worked with, like to do marketing for those brands. But yeah, it felt good. So yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's normal. People take a decision-making process. So what is it that specifically stood us out from anything else that you'd seen? You said you were repulsed by others. What were others doing that we were doing different?
I just feel that it's saturated, the same methods, the same styles, the same messaging. It feels manipulative. It doesn't feel authentic. Everything feels like if this makes sense, it's all an illusion and it's a game that's being played and it's based on tapping into people's psychology. I'm aware of that, but I feel that things can be done quite authentically as well and genuinely. And I picked that up from you guys, that your method was with that approach more so. And I just was engaging with you through your stories, and I was watching through Instagram, I was watching how you did what you did. And your dog, obviously, Bambi, she's super cute. So it was like, she can come into the conversation if you want. Oh my God, she's tiny. She's so little. So she's just like, I just thought it was really nice to see someone. It was just really nice to see how you do what you do. I think that the decision I made, the pivot point, I did jump on a webinar, but I was already pretty close to making it the decision by that point.
Yeah, I mean that's feedback we get a lot. So it's again, it's just being who you are, and I think what stands us out is I've been doing it for so long that there's no need to there's no need to I suppose there is a lot of people online that there's nothing wrong with it. You've been in the game 3 years, you're going to have a natural sort of pattern to it, but after 15 years, like you stop caring really to a degree, like what everyone else thinks, and just because some people will hate that, Miriam. They would think I'm really unprofessional and really unpolished, and that is the other side of that. You can get that, which is fine. It is what it is. But look, thanks on that. I appreciate that. What has it been? What has been the best so far in terms of support wise for you? Like, is there anything specific that stands out for you that's been great?
I think you've got a great team. So everyone seems to have strong points in their areas. So it gives, as someone who's in the program, it gives me confidence. I know who to go to for what I need support with. And it's also, surprisingly, it's also very quick a quick response. Considering there's so many people in the program, I'm quite like, it was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Mm.
And I do enjoy the group coaching that I attend. Even if I don't have a question, I like to come and listen, and I do get value out of that. And there's lots of things that I notice that you need to repeat, or have repeated. But I believe if because I'm listening, I'm applying. And that's been a good process for me personally.
Yeah, the repeating process is really important. Most people don't ever have something they can just keep on repeating till they get it, and the brain needs to hit it several times. It's like with my niece, right? She can literally word for word replicate, what's the name? Elsa, what's it? What's the Disney
Frozen.
movie? Frozen, yeah. She literally word for word, right? And people are always like, oh, that's amazing. She's watched it 50 times plus. So would you if you watched it 50 times plus. But like most people don't get the importance of repeating. But yeah, I appreciate that. Were you a bit surprised, Meryem? I mean, from scratch, 10K plus in the bank, in a relatively short period of time. Were you surprised that was even possible?
Um, if I'm like, I felt I wasn't confident that I was going to get that so quickly. Do you
No,
need
we're just
to
gonna have to
go?
pause you
Yeah,
one
cool.
one second.
Okay.
I just need to let this guy in 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
So were you surprised at it?
Okay. Yes, I think I was surprised at how quickly it happened. I think I was expecting for it to take longer. But I have to say the training with the closer process is really what has been very helpful for me in achieving that. And on top of that, I think the structure that you teach in, just get in there and just do it. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Mm.
That method has helped me just move quicker.
Refining on the go, as
Yeah.
simple as that is, like
Hmm.
most people never get that.
Yeah.
But they never create a system, or they never have a structure that allows them to be imperfect. And this world is conditioned to make people perfect.
Yeah.
And they consistently see other people perfect, end result, end result, end result. And to get to that end result is obviously what we're all here for. But to get there, there's no other way, bar moving forward imperfectly. And then helping that structure. Yeah, the closer process, we get a lot of feedback.
Hmm.
I'd
Hmm.
say that's probably the number, especially your first kind of like your first figures in the bank are going to
Hmm.
be because most people don't know how to do a great consultation process. They
Hmm.
don't understand the value of a great consultation process. They don't understand that, like you do that a couple of times and it completely transforms your ability to solve someone's problem, thus create a solution which is a payment process. Like without understanding that, I'd say most suffer many years without, just by doing the wrong sort of level of how to information coming
Yes.
from a coming from a level of value.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, the three levels of value: understand the problem, method gets out the problem, and then solution to that, which is
Yeah.
bought program.
Mhm.
Is there anything else specifically, Meryem, that you've liked so far? I mean, these are early dates. I'm excited for you. Anything specifically so far?
I like that you celebrate the milestones, and because I think it motivates me personally. I like it. Like, it makes me hungry to just go for more. And I enjoy the community, how people not only talk of their challenges and their needs, but it's a great community. There's a good culture there of celebrating each
Mhm.
other's wins. And I think it motivates other people that it's possible.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
enjoy
it's
that.
like people know it's lonely on your own as an entrepreneur. That's one thing, but like it's also like your family and your friends and people around you. They never get how much you're putting in,
Hmm.
and especially today, you could be sitting on a couch for like for a long period of time, and then people are like, what are you doing? And so the reason we do this, and then when COVID's over and stuff, that we have, spend time hanging out together, like this is a live event where everyone came to, is so that you can celebrate in that process. And so also it is one of those things that the more you see other people doing the thing that you want, and if you are someone that's going through the process and has the support, then you believe it possible too for yourself. So therefore the whole thing grows together, rather than if they did it, I can't do it, which unfortunately without the right structure behind that, it can be really, like seeing other people succeed can be very disempowering for some, because it's like that goes back into comparing to others. But like if you've all got the same structure, you've all got the same program, you'll know this for your clients too, Meryem. You copy the same process, you give them the same program, the same support, the same action processes, and then all they have to do is follow those processes. Like I'm excited for COA 8.0 update, right? Because over the years I've like distilled like what habits get you quicker results, and I just did a little update today on it. It's just being able to see, like, actually it's got nothing to do with whether you're a doctor, whether you've got thousands of clients before, whether you're a male or a female, whether you're whatever race you are, however old you are. These are completely irrelevant. It's actually just the habits that you install as you go through the process. Now, I've got training, the training obviously instills that, but I've made it even more like obvious off the back of now over 1,000 people going through it. But yeah, what would you say is the biggest reason that holds people back today from making a decision to getting the right support?
I think sometimes people, they just, a few things. I think people are over communicated to from so many angles that I feel that they lose trust and they get confused as to like who to go with. So that whole experience of like alluring them needs to be authentic but also stand out. And that's an experience I had with you. So that's why it was an easier process for me. I also think people don't know what they don't know. They think that they've got it right, and they're so stuck in habits of doing the same thing the old way, that they're kind of afraid to try something new. And then you have people telling people to go on every social media platform, for example, the Gary V's and so on, which is an outdated way to be doing things and ineffective, and just selling people the wrong dream, wrong promises. So, I still see people doing stuff from what I saw 5 years ago, thinking it's the right way to go. So I think it's a knowledge gap. It's a lack of trust and just a lack of alignment. Like they just need to align with the right person who can genuinely help them.
It makes sense. I mean, I the thing is with Gary, like I love Gary and I've got to speak alongside Gary, and he's amazing. It's just like I'm not sure, like he doesn't get to be held accountable for stuff he spews out, and there are some great stuff that is there, but the problem is it's the method to get outcome, which is where he, like, if you notice, he's shifted his message in the last couple of years now. It's purely a motivational message, because he's got hammered over business, because he actually doesn't, you've got to be careful who you take advice from to build a business, at what stage they're at. And it's no disrespect to Gary, but Gary has a huge team. So Gary's not going to know what are the day. He doesn't understand what it's like to be someone that has a couple of clients and they want 10 clients, right? He hasn't been there for many years. And so he's not the best person to listen to. And I realized this, like very early on, like it's people give advice from the perspective of where they're looking at. And so he's been very careful to shift that, because he's got a lot of bad feedback over the years to overwhelming people, and making it seem like it's a really easy thing. But the truth is, even where we're at, if I try and do what he's saying, I'm overwhelmed. And I've got a team in place, and so it's like, actually, you don't need to do these things. But that makes sense, Miriam. What would you tell anyone who was on the edge of joining us? What would you say to them?
Honestly, I would just like, don't think about it any longer. Just do it. It's the best thing that I've done for my business. And if anyone came up to me and said, I need to work with someone to grow my coaching business, I need support with marketing, I need coaching, without hesitation, without a doubt, 100% recommend. I would recommend Ed. I will recommend Ed and COA. Absolutely brilliant experience so far. So don't think about it, just go for it, get in there. You won't look back. You'll just be so grateful that you did it. And I'm just like, I'm so glad I found Ed. I don't know how I did, but I'm so glad.
Hey, I appreciate you, Miriam, because again, it takes two to tango, right? And so in
Yeah.
today's world, a lot of people are in that space where they have a lot of ego, and I think you have to go through a couple of business failures sometimes to realize actually it's much easier to follow someone else's method, copy that. Today, for example, any platform I go to, anything I need to do, I'll hire someone else that's already done it.
Yeah.
It's just standard. But I get people are, I suppose they're hesitant. I'm not sure why. It is what it is. But like, I think some of the things I hear consistently is because I'm there on a weekly basis and I love it, and I suppose that's what, there are some coaching programs out there that are just taught by other people within their industry. And of course I could do that. Like I could get my team to run it, but that's not what really, fuels my life. Like I've done that before, Miriam, and I took a lot of time out and I realized I missed my clients. So I missed my interaction, because otherwise what's the point? Like if everything's systemized and automated and grows without you there, which is what you can do, then you go shit.
Yeah. At least you've got that option for anyone wanting
Yeah.
to do the program. But I think I agree with you. I think when you genuinely care about people and you love seeing people get results, and you're the master at the end of the day. So it's great for people to have that contact with you. It's amazing. I don't know many others who are as hands-on and well structured as you are with how things are set up.
It's the process, Miriam. I love the process. Like I'm a learner my whole life, and so when you live the process like that's a big part of my value. Like that's what growth and contribution really means to me. Passing on what people don't get is that I'm always making it better. like,
Yes.
like they sit there and think, and this used to be with our events. They'd come to an event, maybe come 3 years later, and like, shit, this is good. You're like, yeah, it gets better and better and better. Like we're consistently improving and refining, and that's the journey of life. So that being said, let's get down to your next steps, Meryem. I want to say thank you so much. I appreciate you, because without you, it doesn't happen, right? And we've been able to build many successful coaching programs within the niches health, relationships, and wealth. But like this, helping other people build their coaching business came about because people kept on asking me over and over again. So without you and people like yourself, this wouldn't be here. So I'm fully appreciative of you. A high five to you, because you to me is someone special. You're a go-getter, and that's what it's about. I think about today, how many clients can like Miriam get? How many clients? I'm serious. I
Yes,
think
me too.
because that's what really makes me excited. That's what I really do believe. If we can spread that sort of message, and I know that I can help a lot of people with their programs, in turn we make a massive difference. That's what it's about. So that being said, Miriam, let's get down to your next steps. Congratulations on your 10K. Well done. Plus.